Hello, everybody. Stephen Mirassou coming to you from my very chilly patio in beautiful downtown Livermore. Sometimes there are wonderful, happy accidents that happen in the business, and you find out about certain things that you didn't know were there, and they end up being spectacular occurrences that down the road are going to be life changing, palate changing. Anyway, I'm going to adjust the screen a little bit because that real ghost behind me is, I can see in my screen, is scary, distracting. So there we go. There. All right. Beautiful. I was down, this would have been 2023, at Santa Cruz Mountain Vineyards tasting room, taking a former employee of mine to go see a vineyard in the region. And we stopped by this tasting room because Jeff Emery, the winemaker and owner of the brand, is one of the great winemakers in California. Definitely does not get enough attention. And we were tasting some wines in his place. It was Friday, and we were doing some blind tasting with him and a group of his friends. And he said, if you want something older, go take a look back in the back room, which we did, and found a 2002 bottle of Zayante Syrah. I didn't even know that Zayante had Syrah. We get Merlot from that site. Gorgeous place for fruit, just an amazing vineyard. We get Cab Franc from that site on occasion when there's enough. There's a very tiny little bit, and sometimes it helps us to complete a Santa Cruz Mountain blend with Bates Ranch. But it's a hit and miss proposition, just given how little of it is planted there. The Syrah was a 20-plus-year-old bottle of wine at that point in time, and I brought it home, and my wife and I drank it, and it was absolutely stunning wine, and found out that there was fruit available. So we bought a few tons in 2023 and have been nurturing it ever since in the cellar. At the same time, we found a new vineyard in Lodi, in a small town called Campo, that was being farmed by the Bokish family, who are just great farmers, and especially so with varieties and Spanish varieties. And we bought a few tons of Monastrell or Mourvedre. And we made these wines and absolutely loved both of them. And we're trying to figure out whether these wines should be blended or whether they should be released on their own. And after a bunch of soul searching and palate testing and the like, decided finally that they should be blended. And we have a new release out for members of our BDX collection of wines. Neither one of these varieties are Bordeaux varieties. So we're in the midst of a name change. But under this classification, we have a lot of flexibility as winemakers to produce really cool blends and single varietal wines that are meant to be drunk younger, don't require a great deal of age, but are capture an essence of beauty and fruit and deliciousness that some of our Bordeaux blends, our Cabernet Sauvignon based wines, don't aspire to, let's just say. And the wine we decided to call, I knew we should, a red wine blend that is 50-50, Syrah and Merlot, Syrah and Mourvedre. And I think that the name for the wine came about from just a affirmation, ultimately, that I knew we should blend these wines, ultimately, that they made a more striking wine, a more profound wine, a more delicious wine, a more interesting wine than if we had done them by themselves. They're 2/3 of the very famous GSM blends, the blends of Southern Rhone, Chateauneuf de Pape, and various other areas, California GSM blends. This is an M&S blend, however you want to look at it. And this wine is just really beautiful. And it's really a function of just getting extraordinary fruit to work with. Both of these sites are farmed by incredibly talented people. We didn't screw it up in the cellar, and we were able to make a blend that was at once rich, or had a lot of depth to it, let's put it that way, and incredible flavors. No new oak, just really a fruit centric, a fruit dominant, but also texturally defined wine. And I'm very excited about being able to offer this wine to members of our club first, and then if there's any left over, to folks who just happen to be in our tasting room. I knew we should. Probably not going to be making a blend like this again down the road, but who knows? And we never say never. But we hope you have an opportunity to come by the winery, taste this wine. It's a wine, I think, the incredible food wine. Think lamb, think stews. It's cold out now. It's only going to get colder. It's a great winter wine, and a wine that you could eat with barbecue, a wine to eat with all kinds of meats and bean stews and the like. I'm very excited about how we're going to use this wine in the kitchen as well. Hope you enjoy this wine if you get a chance to try it. Hope you get out to Livermore to see us. And as always, drink something delicious, treat each other well. Let wine be your guide as to how you treat people and how you live a richer life. Cheers.